Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Today, we're looking at a major and, frankly, growing roadblock for the AI industry, the pushback from rural American communities against new data centers. We'll be exploring why this is happening, drawing from recent reporting and analysis on the topic.
To really understand the scale of this conflict, just look at the numbers. In the second quarter of 2025 alone, local opposition was responsible for blocking or delaying around 20 data center projects. The combined value of that investment? Nearly $100 billion. So this isn't just a minor issue. It's a significant economic headwind for the entire AI sector.
And that, of course, brings us to the core question. With all the promises of investment and high-tech progress, why are so many communities saying no thank you? Well, the answer isn't as simple as being anti-technology. It's actually a much more complex and layered resistance, rooted in some very real, very tangible local concerns.
So what's really driving all this? It's not one single thing. It really boils down to four fundamental points of friction, four core tensions between the data center developers and the local residents. Let's break each of them down.
Okay, the first major point of contention is jobs. Developers always come in promising a jobs boom, but communities are getting more and more skeptical about whether those jobs are actually going to stick around for the long haul. The typical employment life cycle for a data center really explains the skepticism. You see, there's an initial surge of high-paying construction jobs, which is great, but that only lasts for about 18 to 36 months. After that, once the facility is up and running, it's highly automated. It runs on a very lean team of specialized technicians. So the end result is very few permanent, lasting jobs for the local population, which leaves many feeling like they've put up with all the disruption without seeing any of the long-term benefits.
The second major concern is power. AI data centers are incredibly energy intensive, and that puts an enormous amount of strain on local power grids. And this isn't just some abstract technical problem. It has a direct impact on residents.
You have to remember, most rural electrical grids simply were not built for this kind of demand. A single AI data center can consume as much electricity as a small city. For the people who actually live there, this sparks two very big worries: higher utility bills for everyone, and the very real risk of brownouts or power outages. Now, this third tension goes beyond jobs and power. It's about a way of life. For many people in these rural areas, a massive, faceless data center represents a fundamental threat to their community's identity and culture. Think about it. When a 1,000-acre data center replaces active farmland, it's doing more than just changing a map. It permanently changes water usage in the area, it transforms traffic patterns, and it irrevocably alters the rural character of a place. This concern, this desire to preserve a community's identity, is a really powerful motivator, and it's something that brings residents together across the political spectrum.
And that leads us to the fourth, and you could argue the most important issue of all: trust. Often, the real problem isn't the data center itself. It's the complete lack of a genuine relationship between these massive tech companies and the communities they want to become a part of.
This quote from an analyst really captures the sentiment perfectly. When communities feel like they're being viewed in a purely transactional way, just as a line item on a balance sheet, that trust completely erodes. Promises of more tax revenue just aren't enough when residents feel a fundamental lack of respect for their home and their concerns.
And I want to be clear, this isn't just happening in a handful of small towns. This has grown into a national movement.
We're now seeing this play out at the state level. In places like Virginia, which is a huge hub for data centers, lawmakers are now actively debating statewide moratoriums on any new projects. That's a massive shift from just isolated zoning fights to a coordinated, major policy debate.
This quote here from Michigan State Representative Jennifer Wirtz really gives a political voice to this movement. And it also shows how the argument itself is evolving. It's no longer just a not in my backyard kind of reaction. Instead, it's proposing alternative development strategies, like repurposing old industrial sites, brownfields, in cities that already have the heavy-duty infrastructure needed.
So with all of this pushback, it's become very clear that the old way of doing business just isn't working. Tech companies are going to need a fundamentally new strategy if they want to build these essential facilities successfully. The contrast between the old and new ways is pretty stark. The old approach, where communities were treated either as obstacles to be managed or just as simple financial opportunities, is proving to be completely unsustainable.
The new mandate, according to industry experts, is a shift toward a collaborative model to actually design these projects with communities right from the start instead of just trying to build around them. This leaves us with a critical question for the future of the entire AI industry. The demand for AI computation isn't going away. In fact, it's only going to increase. And all that computation requires physical space and immense power. So, as this expansion continues, can the tech giants who are driving it and the rural communities they need find a truly viable path to common ground? Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and hope you get smarter than your competition. If you find these videos valuable, please consider using the QR code on the screen to buy us a coffee. Your support is what helps us continue to create this content. We also recommend that you subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. And of course, please be sure to like this video, leave a comment, and share it with your network. It really does help us reach a wider audience. Thanks again for watching.